A very warm regards of the day. I am Dr. Onika Parmar, Assistant Professor in Rugda College of Engineering and Technology, Bhilai, affiliated to CSVTU, Chhattisgarh Swami Vivekanand Technical University. Today, we are going to discuss about the bipolar junction transistors. In this, we will learn about the bipolar junction transistors. It was invented in 1947-48 and this invention leads to many other semiconductor devices which are included in the integrated circuits. The invention of bipolar junction transistors brought a big breakthrough in the semiconductor industries and they worked as the backbone of integrated circuits. So, bipolar junction transistor is a 3-terminal semiconductor device. In this bipolar junction transistors, there are 3 doped regions: emitter, base and collector. The bipolar junction transistor is conducted with 3 doped semiconductor regions separated by 2 p-n junction diodes. Repeat, separated by 2 p-n junctions. Here we can see the symbol of the NPN transistor. There are 3 terminals. One terminal is emitter, second one is base and the third one is collector. Based on the doping of these 3 regions, it is known as NPN transistor or a PNP transistor. So, in the case of a NPN transistor, both emitter as well as collector will be doped by the N-type impurity, while in the case of the base will be of P-type. In the case of a PNP transistor, the emitter and collector will have P-type of impurity. They will be doped by P-type impurity and the base will be doped with N-type impurity. The base is in the sandwich condition between the emitter and the collector. Here we can see a bipolar junction transistor. Here the width of the collector is the highest and compared to the width of the emitter, the collector will be wider than the emitter and then the base. Base will be the thinnest area. In all the cases, either it be a NPN transistor or a PNP transistor, the collector will have the highest width and the base will have the lowest width. So, the emitter will have highest doping and then the doping of the collector and then the base. So, the base will be the base will have the lightest doping in comparison to both emitter and the collector. Here we can see the symbolic presentation of a NPN transistor. Here you can see that the arrow is in the outside. So, this is the symbol of a NPN transistor. in an NPN transistor, arrow is represented at the outward direction and it is at the emitter end. The arrow will always be at the emitter side. Here the term bipolar indicates that both the carriers, electron and hole, contribute in the flow of current. Now, if you look inside the BJT, there are two PN junctions, the junction between the emitter and base, and the second junction is between the base and collector. So, there are two junctions and the device is bipolar, that is electron and hole both contribute in the current flow. Hence the term bipolar junction transistor comes in the play. As there are two junction between the emitter and the base and between the base and collector. So it may appear as shown. It can be seen as a two back-to-back diodes connected in series. But it actually won't behave like a transistor. If we connect two diodes back to back, it will not act as a transistor, because when we connect back to back diode, then we are assuming that there is no interaction between two diodes. This means that the two diodes are operating independently. But in the case of a BJT, actually there is an interaction between the two regions. So if we connect two diodes back to back, it will not act as a bipolar junction transistor. Now, if we talk about the internal construction of the BJT, then emitter is heavily doped and the function of emitter is to supply electrons, and in fact that is why it is known as emitter. So let's talk about the base. Base, then it is lightly doped. The doping concentration of the collector is between the base and the emitter. That means the collector is moderately doped. And we have discussed the width of the collector is the highest, then it's the width of the emitter, and the base is the thinnest. Hence the doping and the width or the dimensions does not match to the transistor. So therefore we cannot use two back-to-back transistors connected in the form of a BJT. Now let's look at the operating modes depending on the biasing. So the first is the active mode, then the cutoff condition, and the third operating area of a BJT is the saturation condition. Active mode has wide range of application in the cases of amplifier, while the cutoff and saturation modes are used for switching. How this active and the cutoff and saturation modes come in play? This is because of the junctions between the emitter and base and the base and the collector. So, we have discussed that the emitter and collector will be same biased, while the base will have different type of biasing. So, there will be two junctions formed between the emitter and base and between the base and the collector. So, these junctions play a significant role. Here in this picture, we can see that a depletion layer is formed between the emitter and base junction, and a depletion layer is formed between the base and collector region. The base will be occupied more by the depletion region. This is because the base is lightly doped. If we can observe here, the base has thinnest thickness, or the thickness of the base is minimum, and again it has more been occupied by the depletion layers of both the junctions. So, depending upon the biasing of the junctions, the modes active mode, cut-off mode and saturation mode comes in the play. So, in the cut-off condition, both emitter base junction and collector base junction will be reverse biased. In the active mode, emitter base junction will be forward bias, collector base junction will be reverse bias. Now comes the third situation, that is the saturation mode. In saturation condition, both the junctions are forward biased. Here, let us discuss about the active mode. So, you can see that the biasing is such that the emitter base junction is forward bias and the collector base junction is reverse bias. This can be achieved by applying negative potential to the emitter terminal, as we are using a NPN transistor. So, we apply negative potential to the emitter junction and positive potential to the base junction, and then we connect another biasing circuitry. So, here the collector is provided with the positive terminal and the base is provided with the negative terminal. Hence, the emitter base junction goes in the forward bias condition and the collector base junction goes in the reverse bias condition. So, here the total current IE will be the sum of the collector current and the base current. So, there is a one thin layer of p-type sandwiched between the two n-type layers. The n-type emitter will be more heavily doped than the collector. Now, when the collector voltage is greater than the base voltage and it is greater than the emitter voltage, that is Vc greater than Vb greater than Ve, the base emitter junction will be forward bias and base collector junction will be reverse bias. Electron will diffuse from emitter to base, from N to P in the active mode. Now, there is a depletion layer in the base collector junction. So, no flow of electron will be allowed, but the base is thin and the emitter region is heavily doped. That means the electron has enough momentum to cross the base into the collector. the small base current IB controls the current IC. It is observed that most diffusing electron will reach boundary of the collector base depletion region, but the collector is more positive than the base. These electrons are swept into the collector. Let's discuss the configurations of the transistor. A BJT can be configured into three configurations, that is common base, common collector and common emitter. Let's first discuss about the common base configuration. In this configuration, input is applied between the emitter and base and the output is taken between the base and collector. Here, base of the transistor is common to the input and output condition. Hence, it is known as common base configuration. Here we can see two figures. The first one is the circuit for a common base configuration using a NPN transistor, while the second one is a common base configuration for a PNP transistor. Here we can see that in the first figure, negative potential is applied across the N-type emitter and the base is provided with the positive terminal. Hence, the emitter base junction here is in the forward bias condition, while the collector, that is of P type, is provided with a positive terminal and the base is provided with a negative terminal. Hence, base collector junction will be reverse bias. So, when junction BE and junction BC is in reverse bias and forward bias respectively, the device goes in the active mode. Hence, we can see that here the device is in active mode. So, these are the input characteristics, and the y axis has input current, that is the emitter current, represented as IE, and the y axis is represented as VEB. The input characteristics are drawn by the input current versus the input voltage. These are the output characteristics for common base configuration. In the common base configuration, output characteristics are formed by IC in the y axis and VCB in the x axis. This is how the output characteristics of a common base configuration looks. Here we have three modes: saturation, active and cut off, as shown in the figure. Now, while discussing a transistor, early effects comes in the play. So, what is an early effect? When reverse bias voltage VCB increases, the width of the depletion layer also increases, which reduces the electrical base width. This effect is known as early effect. It is also known as base width modulation. Now let's look about the common emitter configuration. In common emitter configuration, base is the input terminal, collector is the output terminal, and the emitter is the common terminal for both input and output. That means the base terminal and the common emitter terminal are known as the input terminal, whereas collector terminal and common emitter terminal is known as the output terminal. In common emitter configuration, emitter terminal is grounded. So, the common emitter configuration is also known as grounded emitter configuration. Sometimes common emitter configuration is also referred as CE configuration, common emitter amplifier, or a CE amplifier. Common emitter configuration is most widely used common emitter configuration is the most widely used transistor configuration. Here the figure shows the circuit for a common emitter configuration. The input is taken from base emitter terminal and output is taken from emitter collector terminal. These are the characteristics for a common emitter configuration. Here we can see the output characteristics. So, as the output is taken between the collector terminal and the emitter terminal, hence the voltage will be taken as VCE, and the output current is observed at the collector terminal. Hence the y axis will have collector current, that is IC. Hence the output characteristics is taken by drawing a graph between VCE and IC. The input characteristics will be taken by drawing a graph between the voltage of base to emitter junction and the base current. Now let us discuss the third type of configuration, that is common collector configuration. It means that the emitter terminal and the common collector terminal are known as the output terminal, whereas the base terminal and the common collector terminal are known as the input terminal. It is as shown in the figure. Supply voltage between the collector and the base is denoted by VBC, while the supply voltage between the collector and emitter is represented as VEC. The common collector configuration is also called emitter follower or voltage follower, because the output emitter voltage always follows the input voltage. Let me explain with an example. The base emitter voltage is 0.7 volt, and if the input voltage is 5 volts, then the output will be 5 volts minus 0.7 volts, that is 4.3 volts. Here we can observe that output is always near the input. This configuration is widely used as buffer, and it is also known as voltage buffer, as it gives the output as provided at the input. The common collector or grounded collector configuration is generally used when high impedance input source needs to be connected to a low impedance output load requiring a high current gain. This is the output characteristics for a BJT in common collector configuration. In common collector configuration, output is taken between VEC and IE, that is the emitter current and the voltage between emitter and collector. These curves represent the output characteristics of a common collector configuration. Here we can see the difference between the common base, common emitter and common collector. Now we are going to compare it depending upon the characteristics. So first let us discuss about the input resistance. The input resistance is very low in the case of common base configuration. It is also low in the case of common emitter configuration, but higher than the common base configuration, and the input resistance is highest for common collector configuration. Depending upon the output resistance, the common base configuration has very high output resistance. So let us look at the output resistance characteristics. Here the common base configuration have the highest value, then comes the common emitter followed by a common collector. Input current, here the input current is IE for common base, for common emitter is IB, and for common collector again it's IB. The output current is taken at various terminals. For common base configuration, it is taken from the collector terminal. For the common base configuration, again it is taken from the collector terminal, that is IC, and the output current for common collector configuration is taken from the emitter terminal, IE. So for common base and common emitter is IC, and for common collector it's IE. Input voltage applied between, depending upon the common base configuration, it is applied between the emitter and base terminal. For common emitter terminal, it is applied between base and emitter. For common collector configuration, it is applied between the base and the collector configuration. Output voltage taken between. So the output voltage is taken between the collector and base for the common base configuration. For common emitter configuration is taken from the collector and emitter, and for the common collector it will be emitter and collector. Now comes the current amplification factor. For common base it is represented as alpha. For common emitter it is represented as beta, and for common collector it is gamma. Now discussing the current gain. Current gain is less than unity for common base configuration. It is high for common emitter configuration, and again it is high for common collector configuration. The voltage gain for common base and common emitter is medium, and for the common collector it is unity, that's 1. Now depending upon the applications, common base is used in the input stage for the multi-stage amplifiers. Common emitter are used for audio signal amplification, and for common collector they are used in the impedance matching circuit. So that is all for today. Thank you for your patience hearing.